Charlie Kirk had a great bit on this last night. Charlie posted, said, during COVID, Tim Walz rationed access to monoclonal antibody treatments based on skin color. Being non-white gave a person more priority than having hypertension and was equal in importance to having massive risk factors like diabetes or cardiovascular disease. So the actual risk factors for COVID, Tim Walz said, forget about that stuff. Sure, we have a limited number of these treatments, the monoclonal antibodies that seem to work pretty well. So we have to ration it in some way. We've got to pick. So you could ration it by who's got the money. That seems kind of nasty. I don't think we would support that in America. You could ration it by geography. You don't really want to do that. You could ration it by people who are most in need of them. Actually, especially during a pandemic, that's probably a nice idea. Or no, you could just say white people, back of the line, too bad if you die. Black people, even if you're not really at risk, you're going to come to the front of the line because white people are evil and black people are good. And there's no individual variance anywhere in there. That's what the left is saying. That's what equity looks like in practice. You think that's going to play in the suburbs? I don't think so. I was on Piers Morgan's show yesterday, and I was on with a number of great panelists, one of whom was Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. And he was thrilled about the choice of Tim Walz because Tim Walz is a tried and true, dyed-in-the-wool leftist. And Cenk is a big leftist. And so he said, this is great. He thinks the leftism is going to win. He thinks this is going to play in Peoria. I was also happy. I said, I'm so glad that I can agree with Cenk. Cenk and I are totally on the same page. I'm also thrilled that Kamala picked this guy because for all the same reasons, because he's a dyed-in-the-wool leftist, and I don't think that plays in Peoria. You really think rationing medical care so that white people don't get it and only black people get it, you think that plays even among black people? Maybe among some black people. I think some reasonable black people will say, no. Look, it'll play among some white people who just are and who hate themselves and I don't know, who buy into the left-wing racial hierarchy. But I think most people generally just won't like that. I think most people generally won't like all the pertaining to kids that Tim Walz has involved himself in for now 25 years. I think most people won't like the idea that this man watched his state burn and took the opportunity to defend the rioters and attack the cops. Yeah, that's my guess. We'll see. I guess we'll see in November. How should we respond? J.D. Vance is responding by focusing on something that many people in this political cycle forget even exists. That is the political issues.
When I talk to Americans, one of the biggest concerns I hear is why are housing costs so high? I'll give you two reasons, Sean. Number one, there are 20 million illegal aliens here who shouldn't be here who are competing with Americans for scarce homes. Number two, Kamala Harris has supported higher interest rates, which makes mortgages totally unaffordable for normal people. So these policies make ordinary Americans suffer. Of course, we haven't even talked about the fentanyl crisis. On issue after issue, she's putting the interests of illegal aliens above American citizens. We've got to stop Kamala Harris, Sean, and the only way to do that is to support Donald Trump at the ballot box.
I love this. The more you hear from Kamala Harris, the lower your opinion of her. The more you hear from Tim Walz, I promise, just wait until his old clips really start to make the rounds. Just wait until the VP debate. The more you hear from him, the lower your opinion of him. The more you hear from J.D. Vance, the more your opinion of him increases. This is a smart guy. He's got both feet on the ground. He's not just some bow tie wearing ideologue. He actually has a little bit of experience in communities in America that have been forgotten and have been left behind. He is extremely well educated. He came from bad circumstances, so he's kind of seen it all. And he can articulate a conservative policy vision beyond all of the, personal invective and attacks that go on the campaign trail. He can speak to voters and say, hey, this was better under Trump. This was better under Trump. This was better under Trump. Here's how things have collapsed under Biden. Here's another way your life is worse under Biden. Here's specifically what we can do to improve your life. I really like this. He can connect issues. He can connect the immigration crisis to the housing crisis, because these are not discrete issues. We sometimes talk about political issues as though they're totally compartmentalized. Well, you have the financial issues, and you have the social issues, and you have the immigration and the foreign policy and the no, they're all intertwined because we live in one political society, and it's integrated into the whole. When you let 11 to 15 million people cross your border illegally, that's going to create problems in the job market. Tim Walz wants to make himself into a working man's hero. Well, how about we close up that border? Your ticket opened up the border. The head of your ticket was the border czar. She let all these illegal aliens come in to suppress wages at the lower end of the labor market for a lot of those voters that you're supposedly talking about. You want to talk about housing prices? Your ticket let in all of these illegal aliens, raising the cost of housing for everyone. JD can connect those things. It's really good stuff. The only issues that the libs are going to campaign on in this cycle, that Kamala and Walz are going to campaign on, are going to be issues that appeal to disordered appetites. They can't campaign on the economy. The economy's not good. They can't campaign on, obviously, immigration. It's not good. They can't campaign on foreign affairs. We're waiting any moment. While I'm broadcasting this show, you could have a major war kick off in the Middle East. To say nothing of the war in Ukraine. To say nothing of China eyeing Taiwan. To say nothing of just the breakdown of the political order, the world order under Biden and Harris. They can't campaign on any of those things. So the only thing they can campaign on is disordered personal choices, as Tim Walz is already doing.
Some of us in here are old enough to remember. I see you down there. I see those old white guys. Some of us are old enough to remember when it was Republicans who were talking about freedom. It turns out now what they meant was the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business. These guys are after my heart chanting, mind your own damn business. That feels good, so thank you.
Wow, it's an amazing rewriting of the golden rule given to us directly by our Lord. If you're Christian, you're familiar with this, which is love your neighbor as yourself. This is a satanic inversion of that. Mind your own damn business. What about loving your neighbor? I thought that was the golden rule. No. Now the golden rule is just be a hyper-individualist and only care about yourself. That's kind of weird. That was a great clip. Hold up, ring the bell, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will see you next time.